Hello and welcome to my channel. Here I review new movies and television shows. Today I want to talk about God's Time. I know it sounds religious, but it's actually about 3 addicts in recovery. Regina is upset with her ex-boyfriend and decides to go kill him one day. Dev and Luca, 2 guys from her addiction support group, race against time to stop her. The film is directed and written by Daniel N. Tebby and squarely fits into the comedic drama category. The dialogue is crass and the characters are all obnoxious in their own way, but in the end, the film manages to drive home some amazing lessons, give perspective on people going through the recovery process, and depict an amazing friendship between Dev and Luca in a heartfelt and honest way. The story wraps itself in a dirty camouflage of sorts, using the word fuck in every sentence, having each of the characters speak in an uneducated manner, and presenting each of them in a negative light. It uses it to teach the audience a lesson about hypocrisy and to make us think about what content we choose to indulge in and consume. Should you be watching a movie about recovering addicts with the intent to mock them and laugh at their situation? And does it say something about you? The film is great at developing its characters. It takes them and sends them on the perfect journey to realize what they've been missing all along. Dev presents himself as the hero of the story, lying about his actions to make himself seem important and more heroic than he really is. Luca struggles to communicate, and it's revealed that he's constantly lying or omitting facts that might help them in their journey. And Regina has hit rock bottom. She's off the rails, abusing cocaine, threatening to murder her ex, and manipulating everyone around her. By the end of the story, we get to really see who these people are, and they grow from the experience. They learn valuable lessons about how to treat their friends and about humility. Through these characters, the film explores the reality of addiction, how it makes you act differently, how it affects the people around you, and the systems in place to help pull you out of it. Parts of the story are a little outlandish, but in general everything makes sense, and the parts that are a little confusing can be explained by the characters' personalities. Like, it's weird that Regina got away scot-free at the end, but given that everyone involved was unlikely to speak to the police, it kinda makes sense. The overall pace of the film is quite fast, with a lot of humor, a good bit of mystery, and a lot of drama. Dev and Luca are fighting over problems in their friendship. Regina is warring with her ex, and everyone at the addict meetings is telling a really personal story. The film makes light of everything and gives a lot of laughs at the expense of the characters. Luca and Dev constantly make asses out of themselves, and their over-the-top personalities led to a lot of ridiculous situations. There's always something going on. The one artistic choice that I loved from the story was having Dev talk to the camera and share his thoughts throughout. It fits perfectly into the idea that he sees himself as the main character of the film, and the way everything plays out was so clever. He's taught his lesson and we the audience are taught ours in the same breath, so to speak. The main cast plays their parts extremely well and the rest of the characters are okay. Liz Carabell plays Regina, a young woman who broke up with her boyfriend, lost her dog, and now spends her time venting about it in addict support groups. Her anger and relapse feel genuine. You can feel the heat coming off of her and see the steam rising above her as she rants to the group about her ex Russell. The passion Carabell puts into the role works well for the character and she nails the emotions. She especially nailed the shame and guilt that the character felt in the end. I felt bad for her despite everything she'd done. Ben Groh plays Dev, the main character of the film and a narcissistic addict who can't stop interfering in other people's lives. Groh is charismatic in the role and does a good job of towing the line between a rotten turd and a likable train wreck. He's got decent comedic timing and is a master of letting the awkwardness permeate throughout the scene. He really jumps into the role too, giving a great emotional performance near the end when he realizes the truth. Dion Costello plays a confusing but fascinating character. He struggles to express himself and holds back information at all times. At the start, he's a struggling actor that doesn't seem able to act, but by the end we realize that his personal issues were holding him back. Costello works the shifting character into the role and becomes more and more convincing as the film goes on, and by the end he's giving such a passionate and emotional performance that he had me tearing up, especially that final monologue. The rest of the cast doesn't get much time, a few seconds here and there, and a line or two. Visually, the film has its moments, but it definitely stretches into the out there category, and at times it struggles to depict what's actually going on. During the night scenes, it's always super dark, to the point you almost can't see anything, and then they wash out the scene with a neon-colored light. It makes the scenes look flat, and it's hard to discern what's going on because of it. That said, the editing and the visuals are usually clean and crisp. They draw your eye around the screen a lot and give you lots of colorful things to look at, some neat outfits to take in, and focus heavily on capturing the raw emotions of the characters. We get some good visual metaphors, a solid fast-paced experience, and some funny visual gags. Dev also talks to the camera and makes the audience feel like a character. The camera at times reacts and takes up that role, choosing what to focus on and moving around the room like it's actually someone's viewpoint. It gets worked into the story well and ends up creating one of my favorite moments. The soundtrack is equal parts catchy tunes from a variety of genres and silence. They use music somewhat sparingly throughout the film to color certain scenes with a bit of emotion, but often let the actors and ambient noise of the environment do all the heavy lifting. When the music is used, it's kind of hit or miss, and there's one particular tune that ends up getting used repeatedly throughout the film. This jazzy blues number plays over the meetings and whenever a character is quietly contemplating in front of the camera. It sounds nice and it gives off this melancholic feeling, but it doesn't really fit with the visuals. Most of the soundtrack feels this way, like it was chosen more for how catchy it was than how it fits with the scenery. Overall, I found the experience a little bit messy, with characters that I didn't really like at first, but as time went on, I found myself becoming increasingly invested in the outcome of the story. It's not really a movie about these guys trying to stop this woman. It's a movie about exploring the relationships these people have while seeing how addiction is currently affecting them. It takes a lot of risks when it comes to the artistic direction, and it doesn't always pay off. But the journey has such a good message at its core, and the reveal is so well done, that I think it's safe to say this film has something to offer. The music was kinda meh, but the cast and the writing are so good that the film didn't really need crazy visuals or super in-depth backing. 7 out of 10. Remember, those are just my thoughts on the film. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I'll see you all again in God's time.